This is a winter weather alert. You are watching 13 on your side.
Good morning, West Michigan, and welcome to 13 on your side mornings on this Saturday. I'm Veronica Ortega. We've got team coverage of the weather this morning. 13 on your side's Julie Koharic will be speaking with the Kent County Road Commission this hour, and Trevier Gonzalez is live in Muskegon. We'll get to them in just a few minutes, but first, let's send things over now to meteorologist Blake Hansen. Blake, is the worst of it over?
Not really, Veronica. The system snow is peeling out of here, but we're really going to see the lake effect take over, and I think this is going to be one of the better lake effect events we've seen in quite some time. Now, winter storm warnings are in effect still all the way through 7 this evening across the board here at home. I have a pretty good likelihood of feeling that we're going to see some of these winter storm warnings extend farther than that end time at 7 this evening. Now, so far, snowfall reports around West Michigan, a fair amount of 5 to 8 inch reports. There have been some that were less than that in the 4-inch range. So some of you might be waking up this morning saying, well, that wasn't really that bad. And that probably is the case in some spots this morning, but don't be fooled, because we're going to see that lake effect really take over and the snow will pile up in many spots by the end of the weekend, along with the coldest air of the season so far. It's 27 here in Muskegon. Visibility somewhat improving compared to about an hour ago, but snow has been overspreading West Michigan once again compared to that lull we dealt with for a few hours overnight. You can see visibility taking a hit, especially now south and east of Grand Rapids. Kalamazoo visibility on the order of 3/4 of a mile. Ionia only at about a mile of visibility. So if you're heading out the door this morning, yes, the roads, they are doable, but you definitely want to take your time and just be prepared for some of that varying visibility with this snow starting to overspread once again. The numbers are in the upper 20s to near 30 degrees, but we're going to see the numbers fall off throughout the day. In fact, by tomorrow, temperatures will only make their way into the teens. So it's going to be a very frigid day tomorrow. Lake effect snow will be here and there throughout the daylight hours, but we fully expect lake effect snow to blossom and be significant this evening through tonight, especially if you're closer to I-96 and a little bit to the south. That's where we expect significant snow in the way of lake effect. One other thing, the wind is going to pick back up as the day goes on. We will see wind gusts 30 to 40 miles per hour. That's going to put more stress on the power lines, especially with the nature of the wet, heavy snow that's already on the ground. So there's plenty more of winter weather on the way. In fact, it's all about the lake effect and the cold air now as we make our way into the weekend. We'll break that down for you in terms of accumulation and additional impacts in your full forecast later this half hour.
All right, thanks, Blake. Tens of thousands of people are waking up without power this morning. 13 on your sides, Trevier Gonzalez joins us live in Muskegon with more. Trevier, what are you seeing where you are?
Hey, good morning, Veronica. The snowfall is definitely a lot less intensity than what I remember from yesterday evening, but we're seeing less people on the roadways, and that's probably a good thing. Here's a look at Shoreline. We're basically on the edge of downtown. We can see very few cars coming through here. Sometimes there's just a little bit of snow on some of these more major roads, but we have seen the city really coming through with their plows. Now let's go ahead and take a look at Consumers Energy. This has really been fluctuating throughout the past half hour, but it looks like everybody is in the yellow. Muskegon has a little more than 1,000 power outages. Kent County a little bit more here, 6,463. That's actually decreased from the last half hour just a little bit here. We also see that Ottawa County has more than 3,000. Allegan County, it's going to be a smaller population, but still pretty significant. They're just under 2,000. Now, in just the last half hour, we ended up talking with a spokesperson for Consumers Energy, Brian Wheeler. We talked about now that the wet snow is kind of gone, we're now going to start seeing some wind. Here's what he had to say about the response.
That the second wave of the storm, while the snow is going to be less intense, that wind really is going to kick up. So when you see those gusts that reach 50 miles per hour, for example, that's the point where you get to see more power outages. We're hopeful that we can be spared the brunt of that, because if the winds stay down a little bit, that'll help us with our restoration work and also cause fewer outages in the first place.
At this point, we have now seen basically all that wet, heavy snow kind of now come and gone. The thing that we are now bracing for is that lake effect snow. That intensity is something that could cause more downed lines and definitely something that could cause trees to come down as well. We've seen that in this past week of how that can contribute to power outages. So that's something you really do need to be observing of. If you do experience a power outage, good reference is to be able to bundle up the best you can, probably avoid the roadways at this point and just make sure that you are able to have your phone charged up to be able to check on the process and also be able to report that power outage. For now, we are live here in Muskegon. Trevier Gonzalez, 13 on your side.
All right, thank you, Trevier. Road conditions aren't the only thing being impacted by the weather. Many flights were delayed or canceled overnight. Here's a look at the Ford Airport flight tracker. You can see there are several delays and many cancellations. Airport officials say it's best to check directly with your airline about the status of your flight. If you do lose power or have an emergency during the storm, keep in mind it may take first responders longer to arrive. Crews will be out plowing, but Newaygo County's emergency manager says it will take time and that it may take days for crews to get to those secondary roads.
They focus on the primary roadways as well as the emergency routes to key facilities such as the hospital. All other roadways, secondary roadways, as well as tertiary roadways are not going to be covered.
Newaygo County says extra staff will be working this weekend to get those residential streets cleared. If you do need to drive today, reduced visibility is a major factor in winter accidents. Michigan State Police recommend turning your heat and fan up to the highest settings, then turn on the defroster and the air conditioner to help remove moisture from the air. You should avoid using metal tools to clear off your car because they can scratch your car. Never use hot water for your windows because it can crack or shatter them. Well, the Kent County Sheriff's Office is sharing a few tips this morning. If you're not in an emergency situation, they ask that you don't call 911. Instead, call the non-emergency line at the number on your screen. Police and fire officials will check slide-off vehicles on the road. If no one is inside and it's not a hazard to other drivers, they'll put yellow police tape on the mirror or antenna. If you see that tape, you don't need to call it in since they've already checked it.